Guys, Nick here helping you to master your technology. Galaxy S10e, 1 week later, review. Now, I want to let things be known right from the start. This is going to be more subjective. This is not objective. I'm going to be giving an opinionated piece here, my experience over using this device for 1 week. I will have a more objective full comparison coming between these two soon. We're primarily going to focus here on the S10e 1 week later. Now, there is some people say, how could you compare the S10e? You should compare that to the 10s or the 10. It's got better specs than 10R. You can spec all day. People compare based on price. So the first thing I want to talk about is the feel in the hand with the Galaxy S10e. First of all, it's way lighter than the iPhone XR. Does that make it better? Not to everybody. But I did say that this phone feels more compact. Now, some people are saying the tiny power beast. This thing is not tiny. This is a tiny phone right here, the iPhone SE. The Sony Xperia XZ compact line that Sony is no longer going to be producing. Those were true compact Android phones. This is smaller than the S10e. The S10e is compact for a Galaxy smartphone comparatively to everything else that's on the market. Like the Galaxy Note 8, for example. Look how much bigger this is. The Galaxy Note 9 is bigger. The Galaxy S10 is bigger. The Galaxy S10 Plus, you get the picture. This is the smallest of the new Galaxy flagship smartphone. But this is by no means a tiny smartphone. It's still got an expansive 5.8-inch display. But back to the topic of how it feels in the hand. The light feel of it is really nice for everyday practicality. However, if you like a substantial feel, 10R feels more premium when it comes to the weight in the hand. It just feels that way. It's like over 180 grams or maybe even over 190 on the 10R. So the 10R feels more substantial in your hand. The Galaxy S10e is light and compact for a Galaxy feeling. Okay, so when it comes to the build quality, I haven't dropped it at all in a week, so I don't have much to say about it. But what I can say is that this screen protector that's pre-installed out of the box is weak sauce. I'm getting scratches just putting this thing in my pocket, placing it on a table, and not even being rough with it. So you're definitely going to want a third-party screen protector to protect your S10e if you care at all about your screen not having scratches on it, because I got a few. You're never going to see it on camera. They're very minor to see here on camera, but they're there and I can see them in the right lights. I'm a little bit worried about this fingerprint sensor scratching up over time as well, but it hasn't done so far. Now the sides of this phone are very shiny and the back is very shiny, and it doesn't feel like it's going to scratch that easy on these elements if I do keep it protected. So I would say that the build of it, it's kind of light feeling, and that doesn't give it a substantial weight or anything like that, but the build quality seems superb all around, except for that screen protector that was placed on the front. Okay, talking about display, 1 week later, the S10e has a dynamic AMOLED display, and it's sharper than the 10R. So does it kill it here? Yes, from a technical standpoint, it does. It does get brighter as well when in direct sunlight, but in regular use, I found that the iPhone XR's display looks brighter. Does that mean it looks better? Not absolutely, but the XR is very color accurate and has a very nice display, even though it's picked apart for its PPI and resolution. Unless you're getting really, really close on those icons, are really pixel peeping every little pixel on the display, you're not really gonna notice, and you're just gonna stand back and be like, okay, that looks good for me. Am I saying that Apple shouldn't improve their game and put a 1080 on the next 10R? Yes, they should. The Galaxy S10e has definitely taken down a 10R here when it comes to display. So 1 week later, I felt like I got a better value here with the display for the S10e. I also like when I go into settings, if I go to display, I can change this between vivid and natural modes. Either I want a popping color or I want a natural mode. I've loved this about the S10e. And one thing I really liked about the S10e is that it's not that hard if you got a decent sized hand to go ahead and reach all sides. Now, I think if you have really small hands, this is still gonna feel like a reach up to the top, regardless of how compact it is next to other phones. This is still a 5.8-inch display, but Samsung does have you covered with the one-handed mode. So no matter what you're doing, you'll always have the ability to make things easier to reach one hand. They bring the toggles down now, and a lot of things in One UI are just easier one hand. So display has been awesome for the S10e, and it's awesome that it's flat and they still include the edge panel, which I've liked as well over my past week using it. How much better is the S10 and S10 Plus? It's actually very noticeable with the resolution. When you try an S10 and S10 Plus after the S10e definitely feels like the cheaper display between those three, but still better than the 10R. Okay, so here's why I don't think the S10e will beat the 10R fully, because of software. People are invested in the Apple ecosystem, and this means that they're not even gonna take a look at Samsung, some of them, not all of them, but you can't totally demolish a phone if it's offering a totally different software. Now, if the XR was running Android and it had the same body and the same specifications, it's over with. The S10e would win, but it runs iOS, and that is a huge separator. The ecosystem, the fact that it's an Apple device, people want Apple devices, are gonna buy Apple devices. This is simply a Samsung version for people who want to buy an Android and Samsung phone, and that's how it's felt to me. But I do think on a hardware standpoint, they have given you a better option here with the S10e, but hardware is not everything. So my 1 week later review of the software is that Samsung has really done a good job with One UI and making it simpler. I think it's more approachable to the average consumer. I think it's less complex. I also really love the night mode. It's very effective at helping your eyes at night. Along with the blue light filter, it's a very enjoyable phone to use at nighttime. In addition to that, I like how this phone is pretty small and you could still multitask on here. I forgot which side I put the gesture on. If you go like this, you can do pop view, and you can also make this transparent and then look at things behind the application. For a smaller device like this, it's not, like I said, it's not tiny, but for a smaller device, smaller than the XR, it could still do things like multitasking like I just showed you. That's awesome. Also, the ability to rotate this screen, something you can't do on the XR. So let me go to auto rotate. I'm gonna rotate the screen, and look at that. You can do a full landscape view here in One UI. So I just love this little stuff. It's just very practical, and my 1 week later with the software is the same as all the other Samsungs. I like that it can multitask. I like that it's getting faster and more simple than ever for a Samsung phone. They're doing a good job here, and the S10e is no exception. But I still want to see more consistency and software updates, specifically across carriers and the unlocked models. I want to see them getting them at the same time. I'm afraid that this unlocked S10e right here is not going to get the update as fast as the carrier models once again. Now, one thing I will say is that the storage on is a total win. It kills the XR in storage. 128 gigs is 2 times the storage here on the S10e. Now, Apple does have some very efficient storage, so you can get by with 64 gigabytes, but there's no denying facts, and it's factual that you get way more storage on the S10e, and it has expandable memory, so it's a total win in storage. Now, I've been really impressed with the speed of the S10e. It's a blazing fast smartphone. You could see it right in this video, and you've seen in my speed test how fast it was so far. I just activated beast mode, or helped you activate beast mode in the last video, and I still have those functions turned on. You can see this thing just flies through whatever you do with it. I keep forgetting that the gesture, I put it on this side. You can actually change the side the gestures are on. You can have your multitasking tray on this side and over here, so that's why I keep doing that, because my other Galaxy, I actually have it on this side. But yeah, just a very fast phone, very good performance, nice Geekbench scores, nice Antutu scores. It really just flies through everything. And don't think that if you get an S10e that you're getting a lesser phone than the Galaxy S10 or S10 Plus, because this thing is super snappy no matter what you are doing. XR, as I said in my videos before, and a lot of people don't like this, but it still feels like a smoother phone. Like, it has that 120 hertz sensing display. It just feels more polished when you're going through the gestures and opening things. But does it feel faster on S10e in terms of, you know, like animation speed? Yeah, it does. It feels like it snaps and pops in the apps a lot quicker than the XR, but the XR has that satisfying animation. So really, it's down to personal preference. You're getting similar power. Day-to-day real world usage, you're not even going to be thinking, I have bad performance on the XR ever. And you're never going to think on the S10e, oh, I should have got a XR because I'll get the A12 Bionic. You're not going to care about this on either phone. 1 week later with the battery on the S10e, 3100 milliamp hour is actually bigger than the XR, but I don't find it to be better than the XR on battery life. It's actually hasn't been as good for me so far. Maybe my phone's still working in and, you know, learning how I use the phone. You know how it goes, and still ain't to the point where I want it yet. But the XR is ridiculously long battery life. This thing is like almost 2 days if you're a light user, pretty close to what I get on the Note 9 here on the XR. So I'm not seeing that same level of battery life on the S10e. I'm still getting through a day comfortably on the S10e, but the XR, I'm going a day and a half comfortably. So I'm gonna have to do more testing in this area, or just wait a little while to see if the S10e gets better. But for me so far, screen on time has been somewhere between 4.5 to 5.5 hours for the S10e, and closer to 6.5, 7 for my XR. So S10e still comfortably will get most people through a day. I think if you're not a heavy user, you'll get through the day easily with the S10e, but I'm still seeing better battery life so far on the 10R despite its smaller battery. So talking about the camera, S10e, wide angle lens, single lens, has it been good? And the answer is it's been excellent, not just good. I did a couple of samples in my past S10, S10 Plus reviews. This thing is tack sharp. Some people might not like the colors of the S10e's camera. It kind of shoots a little flatter than I would like. The iPhone XR has very pleasing warm colors, so I think some people might like the colors better on the XR, but the S10e has that detail you're looking for. It's tack sharp on the rear camera, especially the primary camera. The wide angle is nowhere near as sharp as the 12 megapixel primary sensor, so do keep that in mind. But the ultra wide is fun to take some photos with, and they still turn out pretty nice for a smartphone. Now, some people actually have a problem with the front facing camera, saying it looks soft, artificial, fake, and I could say somewhat. It somewhat looks artificial, but hey, it takes a nice picture. They have this group mode. I don't think most general consumers are going to care a bit about that front-facing camera. Now, tech enthusiasts will want a better front shooter, but I don't find it to be too much of an issue. Overall, I think the XR still has some very good strengths with its smart HDR camera. The 10e is more versatile though, so I wouldn't say it absolutely kills the XR in my past week using it, but still, I would probably pick it because personally, I like options. A couple other things with the S10e 1 week later. Audio has been fun. Small phone with a headphone jack, always fun. Also, we do have, nice AKG headphones that come in the box. You can listen through USB-C if you got USB-C headphones. You also have dual speakers on the front with Dolby Atmos. It's pretty loud. So the S10e is a thumbs up in quality. It's just as loud as the dual speakers here. You have Galaxy Buds you can get with this phone. You have a headphone jack. There's way more options. It's a better phone for audio in my personal experience.